Hi, Avish. How are you? Great to see you. It's been a couple of weeks, eh?
I said, yeah, man, it's been quite a while, man. Probably over a month now, but good to be back. Good to chat some cricket.
Yeah, man. Okay, I'll share the screens live here so you can see what we are smoking here. I just want to see which is which. Okay. Sorry about this. I'm just try and see which screen is which. So sorry about that. Okay, let me just go to share. Okay, let me see. Oh no, this is actually today's one. So let me just rather go to the other screen here. I'm trying to look at here. My apologies. Okay, this is the first ODI. Oh, sure. But I actually wanted to go to the screen right where it actually showed the T20 series because yeah, I didn't actually watch much of it, but I'm gonna try and quickly go. Okay, yeah, it is. I'm just gonna. Can you see the screen so far?
Um, yeah, I can see some results there. So,
Okay, hold on. Let me just
okay,
go to
okay, you
the.
just gotta go a little bit further back. Yeah, you just gotta
Okay,
go
can
a
you see
bit
it now?
further back there.
Can you see
Yeah,
it
I can
now?
see that.
Let me just
I
try
can
and
see
zoom it
that.
in. Okay, I
Yeah,
think it's on 170. How is this now?
yeah, much better.
Okay, so the T20 series was won by India, and Washington Sundar was the player of the match, as well as, if I can, okay, as well as Surya Kumar was the player of the series. And when I look at the amount of runs being made, it was not a very high scoring T20 series. Imagine he only made about 92 runs and two wickets. So it wasn't a very high scoring series. And if you look at the T20 score, 137 for nine versus 137 for 8. India won in the super over. Man, when I watched the highlights, I think Sri Lanka made themselves lose this game, man. It should have been a really straightforward chase. What were your thoughts, man?
I mean, of course. I mean, 137. You'd if you had to give any team that batting second and chasing down, they would take it with open hands. 137 is a score. I mean, if one or two batters get in and score some runs, you quite easily chase that down. But unfortunately, the problem with Sri Lanka at the moment is they can't seem to get over the line, son. They can't seem to get
Hmm.
over the line in cricket matches, and it's been kind of a trend for them. Even in the World Cup, we saw. I mean, we saw some of the worst when it came to this side in terms of how they approach matches. And I mean, this series is no surprise to me that India have actually won it 3-0 because,
Hmm.
I mean, coming out of the World Cup and, you know, Sri Lanka weren't in good in a good situation at that point. And
Hmm.
this is essentially kind of like a rebuilding phase for them in a way. And
Hmm.
then India, I mean, they can obviously feel two different teams. The depth in Indian cricket is so amazing at the moment. So
Hmm.
it wasn't going to be a series where you would expect them to kind of uh, get anything over the Indians. But I mean,
Hmm.
if you talk about this game, and I mean, they performed so well with the ball, restricting
Hmm.
India to 137 for nine. But as you said, yeah, they found a way to not win in the end. They found a way to not win in the end, and
Hmm.
that was kind of disappointing in a way. But I mean, if you fast forward to the ODI, at the first
Hmm.
ODI, I mean, I actually thought they played a pretty good game there in a way, and I think that
Hmm.
that was a game that India kind of threw away
Hmm.
in a way, and ended up in a tie. I mean, I know surprisingly that you did tell me that why wasn't there a super over, but unfortunately both teams didn't really uh, you know agree on a super over before the match, so that is why it didn't go
Weird.
ahead. But a very bizarre game in a way, because I mean I thought India were cruising at one stage at 80 for one, and then the middle order kind of let India down here, and the Sri Lankan spinners put a stranglehold over India in this game here. But it was
Hmm.
quite a strange game, if you had to ask me. Hey, in terms of where India were at one stage and cruising probably, and they ended up losing that game by losing I would say the middle overs in a way. They kind of lost the middle overs, and then you could have still thought they would have chased this down. But I mean, and that final shot by Harshdeep was really uncalled for.
Yeah,
In a way,
I didn't
just trying
actually.
to swing that away to the boundary
Okay.
for six was kind of uncalled for in a way.
Yeah, I didn't actually get. I was trying to find highlights on that game, but I didn't have any luck. So you watched the game fully, or you only watched bits and pieces of it?
Not really. Hey, I watched the highlights on YouTube.
Oh,
I got
okay,
the
okay,
highlights on YouTube. I did watch a bit of the
okay.
first innings, but didn't manage to watch the entire game. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I was actually kind of surprised when I saw the result in a way because I mean I thought 230 probably Sri Lanka are 20 runs short here of a pass score,
Okay,
and
okay.
yeah, I mean full credit to them for actually pushing India all the way and getting this tie.
Hmm.
But it's kind of sums up what Sri Lankan cricket are at the moment. They just can't seem to get over the line in these kind of games. But yeah, I mean it's all set up now for the rest of the series. Two more games to play, and uh, anything can happen.
Okay, so if we look at this game briefly today, it started today. Sri Lanka won the toss. They chose to bat, and they won 59 for six. All I can say, these pitches are really not the best pitches for ODI cricket. Eh? When I'm reading on what they say on ESPN, how the ball is turning one way and this way, I mean, Sri Lankan pitchers are just like Bangladesh, man. They really do too much for the bowlers. There's nothing for batsmen to really free their arms. But I'm not saying pitches should be like the IPL where they were just ridiculously in favor of batsmen, but I just think you need to at least have 280 to 300. When you're having scores like this, of which I think it's really bizarre. What do you think, man?
No, I mean absolutely. I mean there's got to be a balance between bat and ball. I think you want a wicket where probably 260, 270 is a pass score and
Okay.
300 is a good score. So that's the kind of
Hmm.
pitches we need. Whereas if I look at these pitches, I think 250 is a good score and
Yeah.
230 seems to be like a pass score. It's a
Hmm.
score that you can defend. So yeah,
Hmm.
it is. But obviously the weather plays a part as well, Sid, because I mean this is an island country and there's a lot of rain here
Hmm.
as well at
Yeah.
times. So that obviously
Hmm.
affects the moisture in the pitches as well. But yeah, I mean, looking at the score now, if Sri Lanka can get 230, 240, I would say game on, given how bad these
Yeah.
pitches are. Eh? I would say
Hmm.
given game on, given how bad it is in terms of batting second on these kind of wickets.
Yeah, hopefully India can restrict them to under 200, and then India should win this easily. When I mean easily, I don't mean it by 8 wickets, but at least by 5 wickets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so we'll get to the next segment, which is the. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, this English versus West Indies Test series. I only watched some of it. I think it was second test, and then the third test. I watched like highlights where I could, and yeah, looked like Bazball. I mean, refined version of Bazball is kicking and alive. England won the series 3-0. Mark Wood with the play of the match, and Gus Atkinson did really well for 22 wickets. So I think Anderson played only that farewell test in the first test, which England obviously won. So what were your thoughts, man, on this test series? I know you called it a funeral.
Look, I think it's kind of a series where you look back and West Indies they didn't really capitalize on situations in the series, especially that second test where
Okay.
they kind of batted so well in that first innings and kind of weren't able to restrict England in their second innings, and that score in the fourth innings was going to be way too many for the way the Windies to chase. But yeah, I mean, being blown away in that first test at Lords, I think
Hmm.
they didn't really have a practice match going into the series. England were all over them
Okay.
in that Lords test. I mean, Jimmy Anderson
Hmm.
and Atkinson, who to me I think has been the find of the series, in terms of his
Okay.
bowling. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the second test, eh?
Yeah, the one you spoke
Yeah.
about, yeah, okay,
This was
416,
really
4-5.
disappointing, Sid. I mean,
Hmm.
posting 425 in that first innings. I mean, obviously having a 9-run lead, but I mean, a lead is a lead. It's fine. So you got to commend them for making that kind of total. and then getting, you know, sorry, 457. They made 457 in their first innings, which was pretty
Yeah.
good on that wicket. So they had a lead of 41 runs, but I mean England came in there and scored 425. I mean, I think you kind of expected that to happen in a way.
Okay.
You, I mean, the way England play, you know what I
Hmm.
mean, Sid? I mean that all attacking approach,
Yeah.
and we saw hundreds from Root and Brook. That kind of took the game away from the Windies, eh?
Yeah.
In that innings, and yeah, I mean the way they succumbed to the spin of Bashir in that second innings was kind of surprising for me in a way, eh?
Hmm.
Because I would have thought they probably, if there's one bowler they would have probably went after, it was probably going to be Bashir, but he ended up being the top wicket taker, Sid.
Hmm.
So I don't know how surprising that is to you, but I felt that to be a bit surprising for me, especially some of those shots were really kind of very loose shots that they played to
Okay.
Bashir. And yeah, he ended up taking a fifer and ended up winning the game for England. And obviously, Ben Stokes backs him as a spinner. So I think his selection has been vindicated in that game as well. But yeah, I mean, if you look at the series and the next game, pretty much one sided, eh? I mean, 10 wicket win. Mark Wood,
Hmm.
2 for 52, and then 5 for 40 bowling, blistering pace. I mean, he bowled real rockets in that second test as well, but he didn't really get the wickets that he kind of deserved for those kind of balls. But this game, yeah, I mean, he showed what he's really good at, and comfortable win for England in the end, eh?
Yeah. I just
Really
wanted to check
comfortable.
some. Yeah. I just wanted to check something here. Okay. Just 1 second here. Oh yeah. You were mentioning on the first test where in West Indies got bowled at 121, and then England made 371, and then 136. I think you're talking about this one, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, the one at Lords, and they didn't have any
Yeah.
practice matches going to that game as well. So I'm not sure if that cost them in a way because they
Oh.
really didn't acclimatize to those kind of conditions there in that first test at Lords. I mean, which is always difficult for a visiting team, hey. But I mean, batting first and posting that kind of total, you're not going to win many test matches unless you're going to try and bundle the opposition out for kind of around that total or less than that, which is
Hmm.
highly unlikely. So yeah, I mean, England. I don't know what we make of England in the series. I mean, it's been pretty one-sided in a way.
Hmm. Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I'm actually waiting for India to actually come to England. Actually, then we'll know what
yeah,
England
yeah,
is made out of.
absolutely, absolutely. I don't know how much we can gauge on England in the series. I think they were tested in certain passages of the series, especially in that second test in that first innings where they were much to toil a bit in the sun there for those 10 wickets. But apart from that, I don't think the Windies showed enough kind of resilience with the bat in the series. So it's probably that one. It's probably that one innings at in the second test at was it Edgbaston? Hey,
Oh, sorry. What you said, Avish?
was it at Edgbaston that second test?
Oh, okay. So hold on a second. I just want to try and go back quickly. Okay, let me see. Third test was in Birmingham. Second test was in. Oops, I'm so sorry about. Yeah, it was actually in Nottingham actually.
Was it at Nottingham? Okay, Trent Bridge.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so the final test
but in
was in
Birmingham.
Birmingham,
Yeah, third
Edgbaston.
test. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. If you take away that first innings at Nottingham,
Uh-huh.
where they posted 457, you didn't see much resilience with the bat from the Windies, hey?
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm actually uh, pointing out here in the sense that, especially those second innings, if you look at those second innings totals, absolutely woeful. I said,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I was actually trying to see. when India actually tour England? Because I don't know when they actually tour England. I'm so
Well,
confused.
I think it's going to be next year, hey, 2025, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. And
Yeah,
what I realized, it's actually going to be a five-test series, judging by what I'm reading. Let me just share it.
that's
Let
going
me
to be
just
really
share.
spicy.
Yeah, can you see it here? Can you see the screen?
Yeah, yeah, I can, yeah.
Okay, I just want to know which dates it's actually gonna appear actually, because now I'm just really confused. But we can discuss that on another time. I know you are very keen on this one right over here. Okay, South Africa and the West Indies. They're playing in the West Indies. The first test will be in the port of Spain, and let's look at the squads quickly, which is oh yeah, it does. Can you see the squads here?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. What I've noticed about the squads, it's very inexperienced. Eh? There's no one really of great note, if you can see. In fact, it kind of makes the series more interesting because it kind of brings West Indies more into the game. Because if you see the squads, I mean, see the players in the SA squad, you might think it's going to be a much more competitive series. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean it's great to have red ball action for a change. Hey, I think we've had a lot of white ball stuff over the
Hmm.
last couple of months with the IPL, the T20 World
Hmm.
Cup, and
Hmm.
some bilateral series. But yeah, really looking forward to some Test crickets. And yeah, I mean it's
Hmm.
interesting you say that. But if I look at the bowling lineups in particular, I think SA's bowling lineup is much more experienced in the sense you've got Rabada there, you've got Ngidi.
Yeah.
I think the and obviously Keshav in the spin department. I think the one thing that really surprised me was Janssen being rested for this series. I think
Oh,
his experience would have been quite valuable
I
in the
thought he was
series. But
injured. I thought he was
oh
injured.
yes, man, I'm not sure if he was arrested or. Uh,
Okay, let me just quickly check that up quickly whilst you tell me more of your thoughts on the series. Okay, Marco Jansen. Let me see something here. Okay, let me see. Um, okay, just let me see something. Let me go into news. Okay, let me just check here. Marco Jansen. Oh, sure, but uh huh, uh huh. Oh, oh, I think Marco Jansen was probably injured
I also
because of that
assume so.
Major League
I think he
Cricket.
got injured in the
Major League
USA
Cricket.
T20 in the MLC, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
I mean, you've got a new replacement there in Miguel Pretorius. Uh,
Okay.
haven't seen much of him, Sid, to be honest with you.
Me
It's
neither.
difficult for me to make a gauge on him, but I mean, he's got a good domestic record in the sense, and he
Yeah.
does well on the county circuit as well. So I'm interested to see what he can offer in this team. And I mean, who knows if he puts in a good performance in these two tests, he could actually what you call put some pressure on Janssen. So I mean, 29 years old, not really a youngster. Hey, I think he's quite experienced
Yeah.
in terms of red ball cricket. So okay, so he's played for the Lions, he's played for Pretoria Capitals. Uh, I'm just trying to figure out which franchise I've seen him here in domestic. It's probably been the Knights, if I'm not mistaken. The
Yeah.
Knights up in the Free State. So
Or
yeah,
or for the or for the Lions.
if you can just pull out his domestic record for me, I just want to have a look at something.
Okay. Let me just see something here quickly.
Yeah.
Let me go down here to teams. Let me go. Oh yeah, there's. Okay, his first class record, he's got 964 matches, 109 innings bowled, wickets 188 wickets.
Okay.
His economy rate is 3.18. He's list A. I never really understood list A in first class, but he's got 58 wickets, I
Uh,
guess.
I think let's say is probably limited overs. So,
Oh, okay. And then he
yeah.
got 58 wickets and an economy of 4.76. Yeah, you're probably right. That is limited overs.
Okay.
And
So
then,
let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at his batting.
okay, batting and fielding. Okay. His batting is okay. His first class record is 229,000 and 2,029 runs, highest 109 runs at an average of 28.57. He's got 100. Okay, let me see.
Okay. So if I'm looking at this, if I'm looking at these stats, I'd probably say he's quite a decent in terms of an all-rounder. So
Yeah.
he is kind of a bowling all-rounder, but I mean
Yes.
he can more than handle himself with the bat as well, eh?
Hmm.
In that sense, I think the two big omissions in the series has probably been the Kutsia. I mean, Kutsia is injured, and obviously Nokia that
Hmm.
has actually pulled out of the series in a way because I mean he wants to prioritize his scheduling as well. But I mean, Sid, I mean, given looking at these two squads,
Uh-huh.
I think nothing less than a 2-0 scoreline for SA would be satisfying on the series, Sid. Because I mean, if you're looking
Okay.
at this Test Championships
Uh-huh.
and the teams they're going to play, and I mean, I personally think this is a Test Championship they should be targeting in a way. Because I mean, after the
Okay.
series, you've got Bangladesh away, you've got two Test
Hmm.
series in Bangladesh, and then you've got Test series at home against Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Pretty favorable in the sense, hey, when you look at 8 Test matches this year that
Hmm.
they can possibly win. I would say, in my opinion, and I'll be a bit bullish here and a bit
Okay.
optimistic, that it is
Uh-huh.
possible to win all 8.
Uh,
It is possible to win all 8.
oh yeah, I forgot. So these two. Okay, so SA is only playing two tests against West Indies. I don't know why I thought they were playing three test matches.
Yeah, so it's a 2 Test series. It's
Okay,
a
my
2 Test
bad.
series. So
I don't know why I thought they were playing three.
So
Yeah, good old.
I would say I would
Uh-huh.
say personally, I mean, given
Mm-hmm.
whatever team that is put out, I think they should have enough in them to find a way of beating this West Indies side. There are obviously going
Okay.
to be moments in the game where they are going to be put under pressure with the batting
Mm-hmm.
lineup and stuff.
Yeah.
But I back them to find a way of get overcoming those difficult situations and getting this 2-0 scoreline. Because I mean, let's be honest. I mean, what happened in New Zealand was really frustrating. Couldn't pick a full strength side going to New Zealand for
Yeah.
that Test series. So
Hmm.
this is an actually must win. I would say for the Proteas in this series. And I mean, historically a pretty good record against the Windies in the Windies, hey. And I would
Hmm.
say all over the show, all over, but especially, I mean, away from home or even in home condition, they've had a pretty
Hmm.
dominant record over the Windies in Test matches. So this is one they got to target, and obviously a lot of responsibility comes on the shoulders of experienced players like Markram and Bavuma now, who are the experienced pros in the side. Given the retirement of Elgar, who was such a stalwart
Hmm.
in the opening batting position. So yeah, interesting times. But I think they should have enough in the squad to beat the Windies.
Even if West Indies prepare spin-friendly pitches, because I think if they prepare spicy pitches, I think that's going to favor us more. If they prepare spin-friendly pitches, you think SA will still have enough if West Indies prepare those kind of pitches?
Well, look, I think they would find a way of scoring in a way because I mean, if you're talking about spin-friendly pitches, I would think in that situation that then a guy like Dane Pitt might get an opportunity to play, and SA might
Hmm.
go with 2 spinners. So it's going to be
Hmm.
interesting to see how these pitches play. But you remember last time they prepared some really spicy pitches, and what happened to
Hmm.
them in that.
I know
So
that
I
was
think they'd
surprising.
probably. I don't think it's a case of preparing pitches that are too much in favor of the fast bowlers or too much in favor of the spinners. I think you got to have good test match wickets in the
Yeah.
sense where there is something in it for the bowlers.
Hmm. Hmm.
But I mean, if you play well, there is some runs to be had there. And I think what we saw in England on those pitches were really good indications
Hmm.
of good test match wickets,
Hmm.
especially in the second test in Trent Bridge.
Hmm. Hmm.
That was a pretty good wicket here. I mean,
Yeah.
if teams can score 400s 3 times,
Hmm.
it's a pretty good test match wicket. So I'm hoping for that kind of wickets. But I mean, look at the way the Windies wickets have been in the past couple of years. It's really been on the deterioration, side of it. It's really been deteriorating. So I just hope we get good wickets. I mean, that's all we want. We want good wickets. We don't want something that's so in favor of the fast bowlers or so in favors of the spinners. I mean, we all know what happened in Cape Town last year. I mean, at the
Don't
beginning of
remind
the
me,
year in
man.
Cape Town. I mean, I don't want to be reminded of that test match because that was a real kind of a disaster in terms of scheduling a test match. So yeah, hoping we don't get something like that.
No, I don't think you'll get that in West Indies. You might just get the match might just go to 3 to 4 days, which is okay. But you mentioned is going to tour Bangladesh. Hey, that might be a bit tricky for us because we're not that good against spin, and Bangladesh are very good at churning out those spinners against us. You're saying we're touring Bangladesh. When is that?
I think that's towards October.
Oh, okay.
But obviously, this is the first assignment at the moment, and I think
Okay,
it's so
okay.
important
Yeah,
to
no
get
worries. Hmm.
those wins under your belt now. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Bangladesh, obviously, I mean, it's going to be interesting, eh? And a lot of sides have gone to Bangladesh. A lot of Western teams have gone there and have been found wanting. So yeah, I'm not really underestimating Bangladesh, eh? But I
Hmm.
hope by that time, this side has probably developed and gelled into a much more cohesive unit that they can
Hmm.
obviously withstand whatever Bangladesh is throwing at them. But yeah, I mean, those spinners will be a handful, eh? There will be a
Hmm.
handful in Bangladesh. Make no mistake about that.
Yeah, but except I won't worry about that. Let's worry about this. And I think I don't know why. I think because of the squad SA has, it's not as up there compared to the previous squad when they went to the West Indies. So I think I'm going to be a bit conservative. I think we'll probably win the series 1-0 out of the two test matches. But if we win 2-0, great. It's good for our confidence. What's your prediction? I think you said 2-0, isn't it? Yeah, okay.
Look, I take 1-0, but I'd be really surprised because this Proteas side really doesn't do draws. They either do they go for the win or go or or it's a loss. And yeah, I'm still sticking to my 2-0 scoreline, but I think it's going to be a bit closer than we expect. Those games are going to be a bit closer than we expect. But I'm going for 2-0.
Okay, I think that's pretty much a
Optimistic.
wrap. Okay, okay. I think that's pretty much a wrap. Any final words before we wrap off?
I think we pretty much covered everything so far. And yeah, looking forward to a great test series ahead.
Yeah, I think that's in 3 days' time, if I'm correct. Let me just double check
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's 2 days' time. Okay, buddy, we will catch up soon.
Cheers, man. Yeah, and enjoy the rest of the ODI match. And yeah, looking forward to that test series. And it's good to see the Proteas in some red ball action for a change.
Yeah, man, it's been pretty much of a circus. Back to real
It's
cricket.
been way too long. It's been way too long. Yeah.
Okay,